Hey, welcome back to another video. You guys, it is time to budget, right? I feel like I got to put on my gear for budgeting. We are jumping in to update the budget. We have budgeted for the month. We put all the things in, and now we're about 7 days in, so a whole week. And where are we, and where does the budget stand? So I wanted to update you guys. A couple of unexpected things happened. Yesterday, I went to get my oil changed. My oil was $89. I got to figure out where I paid that. Hold on. Let me see what I used to pay. Hey, ma'am, how are you? Good to see you. My oil change. Okay, yeah. So my oil was $89. And I knew I needed to pay it, but I didn't budget. I didn't budget for my oil change. Why didn't I budget? Yes, I did. I have money. Sorry, y'all. Let me check something else. I got money somewhere for my oil change. I don't know what I was thinking about yesterday. Hey, everybody. Good to see y'all. So I had some unexpected things happen. I'm trying to open up my thing with face recognition and I'm talking, right? This is the problem that I'm having. Okay. So I have money in my oil change. Okay, I have money in my oil change sinking fund. Not quite enough, but it's a good amount. And then I have some money that I can move from a different account. So let me do that now. And that will take care of the oil change. Because I wasn't thinking about it yesterday to pay it on the... Hey, ma'am, good to see y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together here. From there. Very good to here. And now I can go ahead and get that paid. And I'll have that bill paid. So now I need to move some money over from... So I have money in my sinking funds for oil change. I'm going to tell y'all about the oil. The reason I'm thinking about this oil change and I need to do it right now is because I'm thinking about the oil change and something that happened when I went to get it changed yesterday. First of all, don't go to place. I didn't go to, I regularly go to Toyota. I've always gone to Toyota with this car. When my former Toyota, I would go to Toyota, but then when money started being a little bit of a thing, I went to a different, like one of them little Jiffy Lube places, you know what I'm saying? And can I just say that I would go there and then all of a sudden my car just started getting messed up, which is why I had to get the new car in the first place. And then I started when I got this last car, I've been going to Toyota every time except this time right now. I needed really to get the oil changed. And I'm not in love with Toyota to the point where I need to, just be over there. But it was better for my mental to just do it that way. So anyway, I made a different decision, went and got my oil changed at a different place. Place was fine. Well, they put the car up on the jack, up on the lift and said that I don't know what they call them, but they said the springs, rods or something that hold my tires into place are dry rotted and they needed to be replaced to the tune of $1,100. Now, I've got my oil changed at Toyota every single time, and I've never heard that before, right? See what I'm saying? So that potentially could be an issue, but I didn't hear that from Toyota as many times as I've taken my Toyota to get my oil change. I've never heard that before. And so it makes me a little leery sometimes going to different places because, first of all, you're a woman. And they're trying to see, I think they just treat women differently. And I feel a way about that because I don't think they should treat me differently because I'm a woman. And they're telling me something that I have not heard before that I've never heard before. So I went ahead and I paid for that with my credit card yesterday. And I realized that I had money in my sinking fund. So what I did right now was I just went ahead and paid that $89. I think it's $89.75 or something of that nature. So what I like to do is go ahead and use the credit card because I earn the points, and then go ahead and pay the credit card off. Once it shows up balance, pay it off right now, because I don't need to be running no balances and keeping stuff out for days. And do you want to pay it today, or do you want to pay it on your next billing cycle due date? No, I want to pay it today, because if I wait and let it run out to the billing cycle due date, I'm going to forget. And that's just because I'm busy. I have a lot of things going on. There's just a lot of dynamics, things happening, and I don't want to forget. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, very good. So I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place with this $1,100 now, because I've never heard that from Toyota, which is where I've been taking the car to. Toyota, they didn't even know how to turn off the maintenance light that tells me it's time to get my oil change. Because the guy, little guy, he was a young guy, he came out and he was like, because I saw it and I went back in, I said, you didn't turn my maintenance light off. He says, ma'am, I don't think that has anything to do with your oil change. And if I try it and it doesn't turn off, then it's a different problem. So he did what they had to look it up, him and another guy, they looking it up on whatever online, trying to figure out how to do it, which is why I stick with where I stick with, because I don't need these issues in my life. Now, Toyota will tell me things, because last time I went, Toyota said, I needed my brakes done. Well, they said my brakes were fine. They said, well, by the next oil change, you'll need your brakes done. But when I went there yesterday, they said the brakes were fine. So it's always something different. I said all that to say, I don't have $1,100 to get that done. It's nothing I could have done by yesterday, and it's fine. I've been driving the car, but I will have money come summertime. Is that too late? Is that too soon? Whatever. And I think what CC is saying is go to the dealership and have them look. Very good. And I do have a little mechanic friend that actually works at that place. He wasn't there yesterday, but he does go to my church. So I thought I would have Brother Wayne come by and look to tell me. And then Brother Wayne sometimes will do a little side work to get him a little extra income, as long as I buy the part. And so I thought we could maybe work out a deal to get it done. If it was an absolute must. I don't feel like my car is in any danger, jeopardy, or whatever. And again, like I said, when the guy turned it, he says, well, it might come back on in 10 minutes. And I knew it wasn't going to come back on in 10 minutes. It's only going to come back on in 5,000 miles when it tells me it's time for me to get my oil change. Hey, ma'am. And so they didn't change the sticker. I'm like, do I get a new sticker? Like, what are those? I mean, that's right. Not today. We're not about to do it. No, we ain't. And so finally, he did give me another sticker. He had to write on the sticker. I was like, Lord Jesus, what is going on? He said, I'm just going to do it in 3,000 miles. My Toyota, 2013 Toyota, is a 10,000 mile oil change. That is what I was told when I picked the car up from Toyota, when I bought it through Toyota, when I signed all of my paperwork, when they pull everything up for me. And I know that seems very weird, but that is just how it is. I don't have a timing belt in this car. It's on a power chain, so it's a different situation. So it's every 10,000 miles. I've had my oil change every 10,000 miles since I've had the car, and I was just short of 10,000. It was like 8,000, but I was trying to get it done because I have another trip coming up. Sister and I are going to a wedding. My niece is getting married, and so I wanted to make sure that everything was straight. And then I was also trying to get it inspected because I have to pay my taxes. Well, they say on their website that they are a state inspection place, but they're new to our area and they don't have all their paperwork right now. So I got to go find another place to get the inspection done, when I could have just went to Toyota. They could have done the oil change and the inspection, and I would have been out of there with no problem. But I did something different, right? It just makes you think, Lord have mercy. Why do I change my mind on things? When I go to Toyota, it's usually hours because I just sit and wait with my car because I don't have anybody to pick me up. And it's usually an ordeal. So anywho, that's an issue that I'm trying to work out, that $1,100. If I have to have the work done, it's fine. I will just save up the money to have the work done. But like I said, at the moment, the car seems to be fine. And my maintenance light comes on every 5,000 miles as well, sisters as well. And then I drive another 5,000 and then I go get the oil change. I've never had any issue because mine is a 10,000 oil change. Sisters is like between 5,000 and 7,000. And so she's trained now, when your oil light comes on, be thinking it's time to get the oil change. So sometimes I think, why? And then the other thing that really bothered me is I brought my car in, I had an appointment, and other cars that came in after I did, they were done before I was. I was in there for an hour and a half. And I'm like, y'all, what are y'all doing exactly? And people are coming in and out. And then the little guy was like, oh, my, because I asked him about the sticker. He says, oh, my manager told me to just go ahead and get you out of here because you've been sitting in here a long time. Well, yeah, but I still want all the things. I paid all the money, so I don't even get the sticker to tell me when to come back the next time. You just want me to remember? Like, is that standard business practice that we don't follow through all the things? It makes you think, I don't want to do business with y'all anymore because I like people who are knowledgeable about what they're doing. Anywho, so that's one thing. I will go ahead and share the budget with you. I did get some child support in and paid out some things, and I need to update. I think my gym came out. I'm not sure. I don't think that my Netflix didn't come out yet. And Jackson's gym did not come out yet, but I have had a couple things. So let's go to the budget sheet and just see where things are for so far for the month. So we're 7 days in, and here is what I have had thus far. $3,991.42 is what was deposited into my account. Now, remember, they added in our supplement, chopped it up into 10 months. So that's why there's about $600 extra. Next month, you'll see about $600. You'll see about, it probably will be closer to about 36, somewhere in there, 3,500, because I'm having 400 of this money chunked over into my summer cash account. That's going to be able to give me summer monies of 4,000. So it's almost like I'm going to have 12 months of the same around-ish paycheck without having to pay insurance, tithes, and all those types of things that I typically would pay in my 10-month pay cycle. So this is going to help us out moving forward, even though this wasn't how it was done before. And I didn't catch it in enough time because we did not get any notice that they were making this change until we got back to work on August 13th. And then it was like, wait, what? And so I wanted to see what my paycheck would be and then make a decision moving forward. Okay, so kids' deposits came in. I got 2 deposits in the same week. On the 3rd, I got $296.22, and on the 4th, I got $216.46. Now, I did put money in Jackson's savings and all of his things that I typically do, but I had some things that I needed to use money for as well, and so I went ahead and funneled monies into those areas. I did get my reimbursement for travel from July of $545.80. And then I received an unexpected gift of $206.04 to the ministry. I did pay tithe on that money. I hope I wrote it down on here. I can't remember. I did pay tithe on that, but I have a ministry trip coming up. And so I just went ahead and put it on this budget because I still had to pay some extra money as well. That wasn't enough. I did use points for my room, which is why I've been using my credit card and then pay it off because I gained the points. And then this last time they had a deal that said, if you spend $1,000 or more, you can get 3,000 points. Well, my car insurance was coming due, and that was $1,400. I had the money. I had half the money saved in my account, and sister had half the money saved in her account. So I just said, well, let me go ahead and put it on my card. And then when it comes up due, I can go ahead and pay it and get the points. So I paid the insurance with my credit card and then went ahead and paid off. I just moved the money into my account from my savings and sister's savings. And then I went ahead and paid off the credit card. So I should be getting my 3,000 points. The lady actually said I will be getting 6,000 points. And I don't know how I wrangle that, but I'll take those 6,000 because I had to use 40,000 points that I had already accrued for my trip over to the women's conference, even though I still have to pay for one night, but I'm splitting a room. And so it's only going to be like $90. That's all it's going to be out of my pocket, but I have used points to pay for one of the nights. So that just helped me out. I'm trying to be smart with my credit card and pay the bills I need and then go ahead and pay off with the monies that's in the account. The reason being as well is because I went on that one trip and had gotten my debit card had gotten compromised, and I don't want any problems. I was able to work with my bank to get that monies back, but I never want to have any problems with my credit card to the point, with my debit card to the point that I can't dispute something. So I'm trying to get to the point where I'm paying everything with my credit card and then going back and paying off the credit card. Now, my mortgage is linked to my bank account directly, so I'm not worried about that part. Everything else I can pay with the credit card because I have the money saved already. I've said a lot. Moving on. Okay, that gives me a total of $5,256.34. Moving down, what's already come out thus far. I was able this month for the first time in a long time to pay a tiny bit extra over into my mortgage. So I paid $1,150 to the mortgage. My utilities was down slightly because, of course, we're not home 5 days a week during the peak season times or whatever. We're at school, at work. Sister's working later. She's working different hours, which are longer. So she's not getting home early. She's actually getting home after we do. So sister's working like a real job, but she gets home after 5 o'clock. So $170.45. The water bill was actually down a little bit as well. It was $77.50. I paid my cell phone bill at $45 and the internet at $100. Now, I did call Verizon to get the cube thing, the little box. Now, I got the top of the line Verizon because I need to stream, right? I don't want any interruptions in my stream. So when I talked to the Verizon representative, she said that came with extenders throughout the house so that everybody, there wouldn't be any interruptions throughout the whole space of the house. But I didn't see any extenders in the box. All I saw was the little cube, but that's only going to cost me $60. So once I get it set up, it'll probably be tomorrow. Once I get it set up and making sure it works right, I'm going to give it a couple days. I'm going to go ahead and cancel my Spectrum internet, use the Verizon. So where I'm paying here like $145, it's actually going to go down to $100 because the box cube thing is like $60, and then my bill is $43 and some change. But I round it up so when Shamika takes it out of her Cash App, she doesn't have to pay the fee, right? So I just try to do that little kindness because she helps us by letting us all be on the same account. So next month, I should have a little bit of a savings if I don't have some lag from the Spectrum and I have to pay, just pay that out. There may be a little bit of lag, but definitely in the November, the next one, it should be cleared out because I just paid it now. Lawn care for Mr. Jerome, I took out $160. I paid him $100 last time he came. He did the yard, and he also did some hauling away of some old furniture. I had a broken bookcase, a broken dresser drawers, a chair, a little rolling cart, just a couple little odds and end things, and he has to pay a dump fee plus gas. So I wanted to make sure that I took care of him because I don't have a vehicle that will allow me to take stuff to the dump, and I don't technically want to go to the dump, and that's okay. Mr. Jerome doesn't mind, and I don't mind paying him. I try to accumulate quite a lot of stuff, and then when he comes, we can just do it all in one big time, and he's been perfectly fine to help me out. He's moved a ton of stuff for me. just getting it out of here with no problem. All right, moving down. My yearly pest spray is coming up October. My due date is like September 27th, but they didn't have any appointments. So they pushed it to like the first couple days of October. I do have money saved for that, but I am going to put a few more dollars over so that I can pay that off no problem. Then I will start that sinking fund over, but that price has increased. So that means that I'm going to have to increase my sinking fund. Okay. I did not put anything yet in my Roth IRA. I'm just waiting to get all my bills to pass through with no problem. And I haven't sank any sinking funds. I do need to go in, however, and put in for my Healthways gym because that has come out. So let me go. I'm going to decrease this out just slightly. What day is it? Today is Sunday. So this would have been last week. Okay, let's go to Friday. And we'll go down until I see Jim. Okay, 29. Because I know that has already come out with no problem. All right. That takes me back. Now, Jackson's Gym typically comes out around the 15th of the month. So that has not come out with yet. I did put money in his high school fund, $50. So there's an extra $50. I think the representative that's doing the cap and gown stuff is coming back on the 10th. So our plan is for Jackson to go ahead and order it because it will not let me order it online. Every time I go to place the order, it sends me back to something else that has nothing to do with the order. So I don't know if their website is glitching or whatever the case. But what I told Jackson is I can either put the money in his account because he has a card, or he can call me and I can just do my credit card over the phone with that particular individual. So I'm putting that ball in his court to get that rolling because I cannot get the order online. I prefer to just go ahead and do it, but it won't let me. All we're getting is the cap and gown and the tassel. He didn't want the t-shirt. He didn't want all the little frilly dilly things that comes with that. He just asked for the cap and gown. And that's what we're getting. So I've gone ahead and put that money. It's just sitting there waiting to be paid. Netflix hasn't come out, but it will more than likely come out next week. Groceries was at $500. Monthly preps was at $50. Now, no more summer groceries sinking fund because they're putting that money's 10 months. They're spreading out that supplement. I'm able to put extra in my summer cash, which now means that I will have summer grocery money. It still will be about $500, but I'll have $4,000 coming into my summer cash account. I've been living off of 1965 for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. So adding in an extra $2,035, I'm not going to worry about the groceries. And if I needed to get those parts fixed in the vehicle, in June, that first paycheck, I will have an extra $1,100 to get it done. Does that make sense? The money will be there for the groceries and a major car repair if that's what I need to have happen. So while in the very beginning, I was like, I don't like this because I like my big fluffy sum of money. This is going to be helpful moving forward. Okay. Down. Let's see what else. I don't want to forget anything. Okay. Personal items was $178.94. I had just, it's those little things that I don't remember. Body wash, feminine items, just personal little things that sometimes I don't remember in my groceries, which I should be able to, if I have to, put a little extra in those groceries next time, just to accommodate for those types of little things. The doctor, dentist, that should say prescriptions as well. I actually had a prescription that needed to get filled for the blood pressure medicine. I still take blood pressure medicine right now. I'm trying to get off of the medicine. However, until my doctor says I'm able to, I'm not able to. So I get my prescription. It's $5 per time, but I get a 90-day supply. So it's $15. Moving down. Okay. Here's where some of the monies were a little bit more than what I had allocated. I don't typically have trips like this. Recreation, travel, entertainment, vacation. I'm actually going to a women's conference. That conference, I've paid for several things up front that needed to be paid for. And is that 500? Yes. So the plane ticket was a little bit pricey. I'm flying into San Antonio, Texas. If any of you ladies are in the San Antonio area and you want to join me for the conference, please let me know and I'll send you the information. So the flight was a little pricey. Then I had to pay for the registration. I got VIP registration because I'm a member of the Rock Global, which is the global network of pastors. Not everybody that's coming is a member of that. And I did not have to do the VIP membership. But because I am a Rock Global pastor, I want to support Pastor Lisa in everything that she has going on. So I just will be at the events that she is hosting personally, if that makes any sense. So between the ticket and the flight, that was the majority of that money. That flight was a little bit pricey. Typically, I will fly American because it's cheaper. But after what American put me through last time, there is no way on this side of glory, not one way, that I can deal with them. I am not staying in the airport overnight again for any other reason, unless there's a snowstorm, a tornado, or something, natural disaster, because that was just way too much. Jackson, I put money into his savings account. So far, I got 2 child support payments. I put $50 in there. Let me go back and say this. So my $546 that reimbursement for my travel in July, I put a lot of that money onto this recreation thing. So don't think that I'm, using all the child support for that. I'm not. I got that money, plus I got a blessing to the ministry. So I combined those funds, and then I took a little bit and was able to finish paying that out, because I did put that on my credit card and I wanted to get that off my credit card. What else? Gas. I went ahead and took out gas money at $200. 50 of those dollars went into savings. Now for my groceries, I took $100 and put into savings. So I'm still only using $400. And I took that extra 100, which would have been like a summer grocery, and I put that into a savings. If I do that every month for the next 10 months, of course, I will have about $1,000 in the $100 challenge. And then I'll have about $500 in the $50. So I should be able to save $1,500 just from pulling money from those 2 sources to have in savings. Okay, moving down. The oil change, I'm leaving that blank because that account is now at 0. I just paid the $90 for the oil change. It's all done. And then tires and repairs, that's a sinking fund. My insurance, license, registration, car insurance, all that, that's a sinking fund. I haven't sunk that yet. Thus far, I put $740 into tithe, $370 into our extra ministry offering. Here's where I had another little bit of a kind of a surprise show up there. So I have a relative that just had twins. This is a close relative of my, close in relation, not close in relationship. Does that make sense? However, I wanted to do my due diligence to give a gift. There's a little bit of a strained relationship here, and I'm trying to build a bridge, if that makes any sense as well, with two babies, a boy and a girl. And because I wasn't sure that the gift would be received well, let me make sure I say this correctly. I wasn't sure if the gift would be received well. I went practical. So I got diapers for stages 2, 3, and 4. And then I also got 2 big things of wipes. Those 5 items cost me $125.93. I got to the register and I was like, what? And sister was with me. We checked, but I wasn't calculating up everything. I wasn't going to take something off. I wasn't going to take anything off, because I'm trying to build a relationship here. I'm not trying to buy a relationship, but for this particular individual, I feel like this might make a more of an impact by me sending a gift than me trying to talk to them. Because at this point, we don't have that type of a relationship. We should, and we've been in a better place before. However, we're right back to where we started, and I don't know how we got here. So, I wanted to do that for those babies, but also in hopes of building a bridge that I can walk over at some point. Savings, I still have that at $500. Haven't put any money yet in savings. So here's what we looking like. That gives me $4,921.18 spent, $335.16 left in the account. Now that's not a right number because it's about $100 more than what's in there, about $90 about more than what's in there. And so I know that there's just some miscellaneous things that I just forgot to put in. What I have not put in is I haven't put in for the dogs for their Simparica Trio because I got it late last month. They don't need it until like the 15th. So I still have time to go and pick that up. And then I have two more personal expenses that have not come out yet. And so I know that's what that money is there for. So there's about $242 left in that account. That for those three things. And Jackson's gym. So Jackson's gym, the dogs, and then two personal things for mom, right? So I know that those things have to happen. So that's kind of where the budget is at the moment, 7 days in. And I would say, this is just me, and most people may not agree, we seem to be in a good place. It's everything is where it needs to be. I feel like we've done our due diligence. I'm still saving for Jackson. We are having a few issues right now with his work. So they're not giving him as many hours as he was making at the other place. Although the other place closes a lot earlier than this place does, he has the ability to at least work, right? Because going to school, doing sports, and then work is going to be challenging at the other place because they close early. So right now, he had 2 shifts this week, Friday and Sunday. Well, somebody messaged him and say, hey, can I take your shift on Friday? Well, Jackson was thinking that other person had a shift and they just wanted to swap placements. Like Jackson was on dishes, they're on sandwiches, you want to switch. And Jackson was like, sure, no problem. So he goes to work on Friday to only find out that the little fella did not have a shift at all. So he took Jackson's shift because Jackson said, sure, no problem. My question to Jackson was, buddy, did you ask questions? Did you say, are you want to swap my shift with the shift you have? And he said, no, ma'am, I didn't. Because he wouldn't think that people would try to do him dirty. That's not my children. They don't think like that. They are very innocent in that area. They just think everybody is kind. What that means for Jackson is he only had 3 hours this week. He goes to work tonight. So 3 hours is not enough even to pay his phone bill or the gas money that he pays sister to take him to work. So we're going to have to try to get some more hours some type of a way. So I told him, because right now he's just washing dishes. He is a Culinary 3 student. He has certifications, probably more certifications than most of the people at the work where he works for food service. So I said to him, son, I need you to get all those certifications together. I've pulled a few things from the local paper where he's been in the paper and that kind of thing for some stuff he's done. And I said, I want you to pull all that together. And then I need you to go and present to your manager and petition for something else to do, because the the dishes shift is just from 6 to 9. We don't want that. We'll take it, but we want to be able to get a shift that give him 5 or 6 hours. He can even work on Saturdays, but he doesn't. Right now, they just have him doing dishes. So he can't pick up a shift anywhere else until they train him somewhere else. And they only think, because the person who hired him just put dishes because that's what he did at his other job. So what I have failed to do as a parent is to adequately teach my children how to advocate for themselves, because Jackson is thinking, oh, I'm just going to work in other stuff. He says, what do you have? The question he asked him was, what experience do you have in food service? And Jackson said, washing dishes. He never mentioned, I'm a third year culinary art student with this certification. He thinks that he's just going to fall into something and it's going to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing. So I'm trying to rectify my mistake by not helping him advocate by now trying to help him advocate for himself. Because why am I sharing this is because he is responsible for his own budget and his phone bill. He pays his phone bill. Can I pay his phone bill out of the child support? Yes, but Jackson works and sister takes him to work. Typically, if he has a small paycheck and I've taken him as well, I'll say just give sister the gas because I plan gas for me. But sister's car doesn't ride off thanks. It rides off unleaded. And he has to make sure that he understands if he had a car and he had to go to work, no matter how many shifts he had, he would still have to put gas in his car. So I do a good job, I think, of trying to teach my kids proper money management, but I did not do my due diligence in this area because I didn't foresee this situation. So prayerfully, I'm crossing my fingers, prayerfully, we will be able to see an increase in hours. If not, we're going to have to pursue a different job because he cannot live on 6 hours a week, even though he does go to school and he has sports. He can work on Saturday. He can actually work a double shift on Saturday because he doesn't have anything else to do on Saturdays. Well, he does have soccer, so he could do the morning shift, or he could do the morning shift, go play soccer, and then come back for dishes. He can do that. No problem, right? But right now, we're not in a good situation with that. He was making a lot more money he was making a lot more hours at the other place, which equates to a lot more money. So anywho, there that is. If you're trying to teach your children money management, remember certain things like that. Sometimes they don't foresee, sometimes we don't foresee. And after one hard lesson, we need to adjust, right? We need to adapt, we need to adjust, we need to make it happen. So, there it is. I just want to update you guys. I will be paying off those couple other little things, and whatever I missed, I'll go back and look at my bank account. Whatever I missed, I know how to go to Dollar General to get like I forgot laundry pot. Dish soap. Sister forgot to tell me about, and I had to get that. It's just little household things that I didn't account for. And I may even, now that I don't have to do summer groceries, I may even give myself a little bit of just household item money or something, because I'm just putting it into groceries, but maybe I need a separate line item for that. I'm gonna think about it. Anywho, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Would you please do me a favor and like the video, share, subscribe, do all those things, because it just helps us get out into the algorithm. We appreciate you so much for following along with the journey. My YouTube income for this coming up month is going to be a little bit higher than it has been. Little bit higher than it has been in a long time. What I've noticed over the last couple of days since I'm out of Vlogust is if I don't post, the money goes down, right? So Shakima, you got to post. You got to post. I do have 4 videos that are waiting out there to post, but I needed to do this update. So I just thought, hey, do this live. And I know people like the budget video. So I'll do this one live. That'll get us some traction. And then those other videos will come behind. People don't seem to like me vlogging very much. People don't like the ministry stuff. They just like budgets and groceries. That's it. They like budgets and groceries. And that is all they seem to like at this point. And I get that. I'm trying to do the vlogging thing because as my kids grow up and move out, that's kind of more of the lane that I'll be in, is just, hey, this is what's happening in my everyday life or in the house and that type of thing. And I know that's a hard transition because we've been doing something different for about, however many years we've been doing it. But anyway, like the video. Those of you who've been watching the old stuff, I appreciate it because it has pushed up our earnings. We're about $150, $140 more this coming up month than we were last month. And I haven't been in the $400. I need to do that for sure. Who's on here? That Kim, can you remind me, send me a message to bump up my groceries and rename my category? I need to figure out how to get those household items in. And I actually think I'm going to start doing the Dollar General on Saturdays because I've been watching a few TikTokers do it and seeing how they do their deals. If I had more space on my phone, I could download the Dollar General app and get those items for dirt cheap prices. But I'm going to do my due diligence to try to get those in from the Dollar General, because if I can get that $5 off on 25, I can get dish pods and laundry soap and all that stuff and have that in no time. So I'm going to work on that. But anywho, thank y'all again so much for stopping by. I got to get ready. We're having Sunday suppers tonight, and I don't have anything done for that yet. So I got to move my groove here. But I appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for stopping by, and I'll see you next week, hopefully with another update.